Hey dudes, it's your friend, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Come join me in the circle with my bearded brother, Howlingbuds, the poet laureate himself, Stoney Alpinist, and of course, the better half of Frapple and my friend, Johnny Apple. Pass to the left and let's have some fucking fun.
Here we go.
Now I've got a plan for how to do this, Johnny, okay? We're going to listen. Ready? Hey, Stoney, thanks for hosting the circle, dude.
Oh, nice try. Nice try. That was a great play. Great play.
Damn it. Thanks, Stoney. Howling, how about you? You want to host it?
Not a chance.
Has there been one where you have?
Look,
he hasn't even figured out his microphone yet.
It was part of my contract that I do not have to host.
It's in his rider. He's got
the
all
problem
green
too
M&Ms.
is
What a diva.
We've gotten so much of his contract wrong that we can't even dispute it because he'd end up winning. But yeah, welcome to the circle. I'm joined by my friends, Johnny, the motherfucking Apple, as it says. What's up, Johnny? Jesus Christ. Stoney, thank you.
That's me.
Yeah, and Howling.
Hey, amigos.
So it's been like 6.5 years since I've last seen you beautiful people.
I know.
How was your new year into what I think it's now, what, February?
Yeah, it's actually coming all the way into February.
Oh my goodness. Don't tell me that. That's sad.
I know. It'll be March before we know it.
Dude?
It's spring, man. It's spring. It's I've kind of started reloading it back up the 5x5. I know it's spring. I know I'm just dreaming for springtime to come. I'm actually really.
It is not spring.
Hey, dude, lofty fucking hopes.
I've just seen the snowplows drive by. Get the fuck out of here.
It was 60.
Yeah, I think the time change is coming to you. At least if shift the day back a little bit. But yeah, like I guess I'm already just starting to think about spring. I'm tired of fucking winter. It's long and it's gray and it's cold. So I'm just ready for spring to come. Ready for sunshine to be all sorts of life throughout the day. So I've got all sorts of things growing in the garden. Everything's started now for the night owl. Grow together. I've got a couple other fun things growing in there. I've got some of my bonsais are hanging out in there now, and kind of starts to feel a little bit more like what it used to. I actually planted some flowers like I had last year around this time in the tent, just because I'm missing spring so much. So I've got some sunflowers going in there and some coxcomb going in there. That should be extremely, extremely cool. Really looking forward to it.
What?
Yeah, I said coxcomb.
I was waiting for it, Johnny.
Yeah, I was waiting for you, Johnny. There you go.
Is this like a check to make sure I was fucking paying attention or what?
What is it called seriously though?
It's coxcombs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that the one that kind of looks like a brain when it grows?
Yeah, looks like
this is not making this any better.
Oh no.
It's kind of wrinkled.
This coxcomb is getting brain.
It does. It has all the wrinkles and like veiny look to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you've ever braised them, they're actually quite delicious too.
Oh, really?
You gotta sometimes have to crisp
I didn't know they were
a little
edible.
bit in butter. Yeah, it's actually they're a pretty good delicacy. I mean, you do have to braise them for a little bit, but it's
almost everything's edible if you're willing.
Seriously, I'm sure some of our listeners have probably heard of it.
I've got just the coxcomb for you, Howler.
It's a delicacy. Is
that the one with the tip?
It's the apple.
I think it looks slightly like a mushroom fist. This show's chaos already. I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, just in
completely
3 minutes in, Johnny.
Completely devolved.
No. I mean, we're leaving this. We're leaving this. I want everyone to know our true shame. Anywho, it is a flower that looks.
Yeah. Disclaimer: go to Baker Creek Seeds and look up coxcomb. 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 It's a gorgeous flower. It's and I tried to grow it.
Is it like a brassica?
I don't think so.
You got me picturing like a broccoli.
I don't think it's.
Why
it's
are you
in
thinking
that
broccoli?
family.
You're just thinking broccoli.
You just said it looks like brain.
It does, yeah. So I'll encourage you to go take a look at it. It's a gorgeous flower.
More like, does it look like coral?
Yes, that's probably a better description for it. Yeah, from what I've seen from the picture of it.
That's what I was thinking when I heard brain, because I've had like brain coral and stuff like that.
I mean, and if you've seen the coxcomb on a rooster,
I'd Google it, but I don't want the results.
Yeah. If you do, just make sure your filters are on.
Just so everybody is clear, when I stopped fucking with you, I heard coxcomb. cone, C-O-N-E. You're saying C-O-M-B.
Correct.
Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. So
Cox
it's
cone.
literally a chicken's fucking fan.
Like the rooster, yep.
Gotcha.
That would be the rooster would be the cock, and it's actually it is a delicacy. So if you trim it off and you do a light braise on it,
now I'm picturing the coral. I'm picturing it.
So yeah, that's why it makes a lot more sense and kind of visually into the cue of it. But it's a gorgeous flower.
And how do you grow that? Does it have special?
You know, I'm really like I saw it and I made sure that it sat into my region, and then I just checked down the back of the pack and I actually plugged in I think 6 or 7 seeds, and I just tucked them in about 1/8 of an inch. Basically, what I would do for cannabis, like you always say. I mean, it all kind of translates right back and forth. Same process that I did for seedlings, and I've already got like 6 in the pot, and then they encourage thinning quite a bit in some of these flowers. So you know, you just kind of you get 6, 7, 8 of them that'll come up in the pot, and you pull 4 or 5 out. Which, you know, the ones that don't grow. I'm also doing a Mexican sunflower right next to it. And I did that last year.
Can't just assume where the flower is from, man.
And then, well, these things are stunning because they're the lower, shorter version. That's why I did them inside the tent.
Are those the ones with like the orange colors?
Yeah, flame red. They were so beautiful last year.
I got a pack of those. Yeah.
I grew them in the tent.
Do you eat the heads?
Well, Johnny. Like, are you talking like when you grow out the massive sunflower heads? Yeah, when you like and really pull the seeds out of them, and not with these.
I'm a little ashamed to admit, but fairly late in life, I learned that the entire sunflower was edible.
Yeah.
I saw somebody chowing down on it, and I was like, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
I was like, turns out it's fairly normal, and I'm an idiot. Like with most things.
I mean, in some of those big, like the big Russian ones that are,
and the
like 90% center, and
I think you just throw it in this. You throw it in this oven, dude. They just like straight oven roasted it.
Yep. Yeah, they're like
that's good chef.
Does it end up 1 year? Dude, it sounds like a textural nightmare in my mouth.
Well, that's to your point. Like, it depends on the different varieties. There's so many different varieties. There are certain varieties that have very tender skinned seeds that are probably bred to get to that spot so that we can put them into bags and sell them at ball fields and everything, and people can spit them all over the ground, which is filthy and disgusting. Get a cup, for Christ's sake. But yeah, those are more than likely a tendered skin, or they're designed so that they crack open and people can sit and chew on them. But then those get messed because they boil them in salt water to get that texture out of them. But the ones that I've done in a garden before, I tried, and they were too hard and too crunchy to even get anything out of. So I'm sure it has something to do with the varieties. And, you know, most of the varieties are big, tall, 6, 7, 8 foot. So you have to kind of really do some searching to get to the ones that are in like the small one. And I think last year I did the research to get ones that are like 2, 3, maybe 4. Like, I think these was like supposed to be 3 at the most, so that I could do them in my tent and get them in just one corner pot.
Because you're talking about the seeds.
Yeah.
No, Rev was saying the whole.
You could eat the whole head.
Yeah,
you can.
You can eat the whole.
How the fuck do you cook it?
You roast it
like a squash. It tastes a lot. Think of like a zucchini. Think of just like the texture of a zucchini, maybe a little bit more fibrous.
Hey Johnny, how often do you eat squash and zucchini?
What number is that on the menu?
It's like blossoms, right? You can eat the squash blossom itself. It's delicious. You can stuff it with cheese. Like, I've made crab mixtures and put it inside of it, and then do a little like tempura batter, deep fry on it. I've done like a potato starch batter to fry it in with a little bit of beer. They're fucking delicious.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, so I imagine the texture would be. I'd imagine if it was done right, it would taste good, obviously. But I haven't partaken. It would be an interesting one.
It was
people. You know, I think people were using it as a burger substitute, which I just that's not fair.
That sounds like Southern California.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's also very true.
Mushrooms, sunflowers, they're not substitutes for a burger.
I don't get on board with that
simulacra
meat substitute stuff. Just because if you're gonna eat vegetarian, there's very good food. Like, eat Indian. It's very good. You don't have to have fake ass bacon, right? Like, it's just a silly. Anyway, that's a whole thing.
I feel like my whole childhood was a lie because like you grow up and your parents are telling you don't put that in your mouth, don't put that in your mouth. So you get actually like a little kind of standoffish with flowers. Like they are the thing that do not go in your mouth. And like the first time I ate a nasturtium, I mean,
Nasturtium.
I think it was like I was 30 years old or something until I realized I could eat it. And it was the weirdest thing. Like I was thinking as a child eating this as a 30-year-old, like my mother yelling at me, don't put that in my mouth. It's so weird.
I was the same way with carrot tops. You can use carrot tops in like pesto and stuff. Speaking of pesto, proud to announce our new sponsorship from Presto. Thank you, Charles Budkowski, for that one, working the magic. We got paid in pine nuts and some oil, and said Stoney can make it himself. So we're excited.
We'll get there.
But it's interesting, all the things that I was just thinking that it turned out, like you were saying, Howling, that are edible or are really delicious. We were just cooked fucking terrible every time we were served them. Like the first time I had like asparagus when it wasn't terrible, I was like, oh shit, this is really good. I would eat a lot of this.
I only eat it when it comes off the grill. It has to have the roast from the grill. Those flame marks. That's the only way I'll eat it.
Oh yeah, that's when I discovered I liked most vegetables. Is when you just boil or grill the shit out of them. It's delicious.
Yep, and a whole lot of butter, right, Stoney?
Hey, soak it up. That's the lube of life, baby.
I like to take those things that are healthy for you, like vegetables, and ruin them by cooking all the nutrition out, and that's when I eat them.
Well, there's that, that percentage of water and whey that gets into the vegetables too, especially like the ones that soak it all up that's in butter, right? Because there's a certain percentage of that that's in butter that's not just fat. So tablespoon for tablespoon, butter is going to be better.
I'm going butter over fucking vegetable oil all goddamn day, man.
Yep.
All the time.
Especially with those vegetables.
Fuck all that.
Yeah, those.
I feel like, dude, if I don't add vegetable oil or sugar to whatever the fuck I'm eating, I won for the day.
Dude, you feel so much better too. It's so wild. Like everybody's eating that dish where you're like, that was too fucking oily, which is not a feeling that you should be getting from your fucking food, man. But gotta put corn in everything, baby. It's the American motto.
We got there. And the flowers, just having the Mexican sunflower tucked away in the corner of my garden is going to be a lot of fun this year. So I'm kind of, I think I started to get to this spot in the year where I'm anticipating and wanting spring really badly. So I'm craving it so much that, I started seeing things poking up underneath the leaves outside earlier this afternoon in the sunlight. Yes, I know it, dude. I know it.
I have some lilies that are trying to come
exactly,
up.
Bro.
I have some poppies right now that are just got the first flower. Now I never really had a winter, but we had those gnarly storms and flooding, and we have another one coming this weekend. So if you're in San Diego, good luck, man.
I don't see green. I don't see anything but white when I look out the window right here.
Well, I think
that's because you live in the North Pole, you motherfucker.
And that's where I'm at, man. It's so gray and bleak. There's no like life on the trees or the ground. Even the grass is kind of grayish, greenish, brownish. And we've had long stints of it. So I've been craving it. So I think that's why my tent's like starting to have the Mexican sunflowers in it. The coxcomb will be, I'm really like just starting to see barely like a millimeter or so tall with those poking through. But it was fun seeing. I got I've got one bonsai going pretty strong. That's the Outlier Z that is sitting in like the one of the 1 quart rectangle bonsai pots that I just did my first training on it today. Did a good little trim, peeled off the stem a little bit, cleaned it up, and started playing around with what shape it's going to end up being. So it got moved into the tent. And then, I mean, my lineup alone, just the Parliament itself or the Night Owl Grow, it's been going like one is a little bit behind because I didn't have the greatest luck on the first one that I popped, so I was about a week or so behind. But my Chem and Kool-Aid is just probably the lacking of all of them. So I have a feeling that I'm going to have to make some adjustments down the tail end of my Harvey Wallbanger is massive. It's probably the largest and I just turned on and gave him the first potion in the res 2 days ago. guess yesterday actually was the first full day of it. So no more hand watering on 3 of them, but 2 haven't quite reached the edges of the pot, which is pretty much what I do now, and has a good sign consistency of when to turn the res on is when it's reached the edge of the pot. And then I've got my St. Expeditus, which is my second run on this one that is already starting to take off. So I'm really looking forward to that one to get a little bit of purple in. That's the Zamaldalika Express is crossed with that's the purple carrot pheno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one that was blessed.
Yeah. So I'm really pumped for what that's going to bring for
Purple carrot. Is it purple?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think my dad was looking at the Jack Frost and it had something purple in it, and I was like, I don't think it's actually has a chance to be purple. So if
your dad wants purple, dude, we have a lot of
options. No, actually I've got an Alabria's Jack's Frost growing right now, and it's the Jimmy Jack's, and it's the Purple Nuggets auto.
Purple Nuggets, that's what it was. Yeah. I was like, I don't think that's actually got purple traits in it.
Yeah. The St. Expeditus, it was extremely purple the first time I grew it. But this was sort of the outlier of the Zamaldalika Express.
How'd
so
you like
really
the smoke of that? I got that pack too.
You know what? I got not that much off of it because I totally stunted it, but I just let it go. And I loved it, to be honest with you. It was incredible. I kind of stashed
good enough
it
to plant twice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I felt within the first couple tokes on it, I was like, yeah, this thing needs another run to give it the full justice, because I knew it was something that I'd caused. So I knew it was totally user error on it. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to run it again. So I figured running it in the Parliament for this one, I thought would be pretty cool. So there's 3 of the Niles growing. And then I've got a Funeral Desserts, the pink pheno from Big Green Guy growing. So yeah, I got a pretty solid lineup going so far.
Wait, you have the pink pheno?
Mm-hmm.
Bravo.
Yes, he doesn't have the pink pheno. He's growing it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's
sir.
pink.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. He doesn't know yet.
Yeah. Oh. So I'm only like I think I'm.
That's what I was asking. You got the you found your shirt.
No.
We're looking for. I think there are.
Dude, I was like, I'm planting fucking 2, and I'm letting them both go, and I don't care how small they are, as long as one of them's fucking pink, and neither one of the seeds pop. So bummed.
I know of at least 4 people right now running it. Johnny has 2 of them apparently. The 4, I know Mitten's growing one. I can't remember who else off the top of my head. But if you listen to this god awful podcast and you were growing the Funeral Desserts pink pheno right now, whoever gets the pink pheno, YAG will give a little something too. We'll send a
fair enough, dude. I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Because I think it's 1 in 10 gets it, right? According to BGG. Yeah. So yeah. Now if Johnny or Stoney wins, they'll be giving themselves
mine never popped, so I'm out already. My seeds didn't pop. Neither one of them. I'm so fucking bummed.
No, that's terrible. Let's yell at BGG on it the next time he's on. We'll blame him. So if you guys if you hit the lotto and get the pink pheno, you do share with us and we'll reward you. But I'm excited. I'm also excited to hear what Howling has to say, because that dude has like 100 tents right now.
There's only one that's going.
The closed camera, the TV shots that I've been seeing during the day.
I should check in on them.
You guys, you are just proving that that tray fed giant bed system, dude. It looks gorgeous.
I mean, it's been pretty cool using it. So much so that I'm not even done with my first grow, and I just bought 2 more. I'm gonna make the rolling earth box. Like
that's so cool, dude.
The 23-gallon earth box.
The rolling earth box. Yeah, I was gonna say the larger earth box. Yes. You can roll an earth box. But yes, you've gotten the supersized earth box.
I just love the idea that, like, I'm just thinking of the next grow. It's even like this grow is not too much different than growing in large pots, but I'm getting super hyped about like the next grow. Like I already have that biology going. I have the whole thing. Like it doesn't need to be torn apart and re-amended. I get to treat it as like a small little bed, no-till bed. And so I'm totally stoked for like the next round. And it's so much that I bought the 2 for my photo tent. Although these autos are teaching me a lesson, and I don't know if I'm gonna run 2 photos per bed, because these autos are already getting pretty damn big. So I don't know if I want to do that. But
What
this
would you do,
is
Johnny? Would you do 1 or 2?
in a 1x3 bed.
Auto?
Photo.
Photo.
Oh yeah. You did say photo. I would do 1, man. I'm finding 1 and even a 2x4.
Yeah, I was thinking like
the SIP system 1 photo, man. And you just let it go.
big.
It's so fucking easy, man. It really is.
Especially
The only
now
thing
that you're
that sucks
establishing
is
the biome, like you said.
you do give it maybe another week in veg time, but with a SIP, it's that week does a lot, and you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I keep on thinking like the last run I ran the 13-gallon auto pots and I had only 2 of them and it filled out this whole 4x4. So it's like,
and it pushes them. So the problem you end up having, and this is why I say that. So I didn't max out wall to wall in my last run with the 1 photo in the 2x4. But what I did do is leave space on the sidewalls and create airflow. So I had less fucking worry about humidity and everything else. And I got some banger fucking tops off of the area that I did have in that. So I was like, the one that, I mean, it was in that gorilla tent. It was fucking 6 inches maybe from the light. And it was in an earth box.
Yeah. You know, it'll work. It'll work better if I just think of growing only 1 per bed. It sucks that I'll still only be running 2 plants per tent. I was trying to go more plants to get more variety.
You can do it, but you almost want to go fucking flip them really early. Like,
yeah, and see, I don't like that. Yeah.
But would you, if you were gonna run 2, you would do 2 separate plants, or would it be the same plant?
No, I would do 2 separate ones.
Okay.
I would still go variety.
Just do 2. Yeah, okay. So you'd go variety. I would, man. I think you would. I know you cut down, but I would do 1 that you're gonna want a decent yield on, and just because you slowly up pot 2, so you're gonna have no time with the veg.
What's that, Johnny?
Do you have a favorite? Like right now, I'm waiting for my HJ3 to fucking push me out enough cuts that I can like sprawl her out a little bit more, because I'm trying to fill her in a 4x4, but I'm trying to get a cut that I can take and put 1 in an earth box in the right 2x4 and 1 in the fucking left 2x4. Like I'm trying to get some fucking hella jelly stashed up heavy, because she's like my favorite, and I'm almost like I'm ready to like let her go kind of deal. So I'm going to fill up some jars and let her go.
We have to put that call out again to get Howling some of the do-si-do, because we know he'd fill every square inch of.
You know, it's just pissing me off. But I have that Thug Pug do-si-do that I'll run, and we'll see. You know what? I'll find the right strain that ticks off all the boxes for me. It doesn't turn me into a dumbass.
That's what I'm struggling. That's why I'm going with the Hella Jelly, because I'm struggling to find, like, I want a good quick femme photo, but it's just like what one. I mean,
it's actually,
I want a guaranteed at this point. That's why I'm going with the Hella Jelly.
I was watching a video, and even though I don't like Kyle Cushman terribly, just because there's some controversy that surrounded him. But I was watching a video on YouTube earlier he was interviewing John Belushi from Belushi Farms, and
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Oh, it's Jim. Yes,
John's long dead, brother.
Yes, I can never remember which one is the dead one.
The one with talent.
So they were like talking, and it's funny. Like we talk about the flavor of the day, and we're bouncing from strain to strain. But like Kyle, he's like, I still smoke the 2 same strains for 30 years. It's strawberry coffee, and then like there's one other nighttime one that he does, and that's all he smokes. And Belushi was like the same way. It was this Black Diamond that like they found back when they were doing the Saturday Night Live stuff, and it's like that's it. That's like my go-to. And it's like it's funny how we're always chasing all these different flavors and trying different things, but like. The old heads, they have like 1 or 2, and like that's what they stuck with for all these years, and that's pretty awesome. Like I hope to find that thing just like that is for me. It's my medicine, and I can just keep on cloning, and that's it. I can be content.
Also keep in mind, some people just have that personality. They're just stubborn old fucks.
I don't want to change.
Not necessarily. Not
Shut
necessarily.
the fuck up, Kyle. Come on, everybody wants to change the fucking string.
Not necessarily to put
How boring is that?
negative points on that point you made, Howling, but I wouldn't, if my dad smoked the same shit every single day, I wouldn't say it's because he loved it. It's probably the cheapest shit that he
Oh,
would
yeah,
get.
that's
yeah,
true.
my
It's not
dad wants the
necessarily-
fucking variety, dude. He's like, I'm fucking begging for it.
But I think
I
there's
don't-
there's something there though, Howler. I think from that
No,
that
absolutely.
generation,
Well,
right from
I've
from that subset of people, they searched really long and hard to find one medicine. I mean, if you think about the varieties of medicine that we have right now, I mean, I think that's what keeps me in the autoflower camp, is that I love the variety of it. It is, yeah, it's fun to grow, but I do love the varieties. And when
I'm still in it because I fucking hate autoflowers. I
And-
cannot
and
grow an
there-
autoflower. This made my fucking life, man.
But,
yeah,
you know,
I
you-
use variety.
Suck at fucking growing. I don't have the time. I could if I fucking paid every waking moment to it, but I don't got that kind of fucking time. I am too busy for an autoflower life. So I'm gonna fuck it up. It's good. I'm gonna
I
with
know.
an autoflower, you can't miss a day, you can't miss a moment, you
John-
can't tweak your lights too much, you can't forget to fucking fuck you, autoflowers. That's what I have to
I
say.
get it. We're not like Rev sitting around doing nothing, paying people to run his machines. Like
But
we have
I
things
hate
to do.
so much. With a burning
But-
passion. I wish I could
but
afford
that
to pay someone.
very note, when you want a fucking variety, nothing beats a fucking autoflower like popping a bunch of them in a fucking tent and going. Because it's just
What
like
is-
there's variety.
Yeah.
Okay,
and to your point, there's a really
wake up
pretty
the medicine
common.
that you're used to.
Yes, that's where I was going with it. Like there's commonalities to our medicine now where like I find if I look back to the ones that I enjoyed the most, they all have pretty common profiles.
So I'm finding that like the blueberry, I'm finding that now with growing a couple blueberries, like that is something about whatever attributes to a strain having like some blueberry characteristic. I find that works out really well for me. I think that's like the same with Dosido. It's high in limonene
Mhm.
or limonene, and I find the citrus stuff works out very well for me. So I think I've narrowed down to an area to look at. So I'm starting to give up the hopes of finding Dosido. I think I found at least the general area I need to be in, and then I can try different shit in there. So
I can fucking 100% tell you that anything with burnt rubber fucking terps just is not good for me. It's a very knockout strain. It makes me very lethargic.
Mhm.
I do want
Anything with
to
those fucking terps.
ring YAG's bell a little bit because we from the very beginning have been a pro citrus podcast.
Fuck, no, we haven't.
Yes,
I'm
we have.
Johnny the fucking Apple.
And you're wrong, but that doesn't change the fact that I love you. But no, I think you're right though. Like you get you get that lemon lime citrus terps, and a lot of the strains I love as well have that because I've associated it more with the way my brain works. That it gets up and goes, right? I get my ass moving, right? So it's
and so generationally, like, back to circling back to it, Howler. Like I think that there were there's a whole subset of people that find that one finesse strain and they do stick with it because it is their medicine that does and it is what they search for. I mean, Dosido's is yours, Johnny. You've got yours that you're ever hunting for, right? I don't know that I
Candy
have that
terps,
now.
man. I just want fucking candy terps. I'm not,
And I think that's
I'm not
where-
ashamed to admit it. I want the fruitiest, fucking goddamn sugariest. Give me all the goddamn fruit, man. If it's not fruit, I'm fucking interested. Anytime you hand me something, if it doesn't make me go, fuck, man, that smells like a mango or a rotten fucking pineapple or some fucking form of green apple, blueberry. If it doesn't fucking smell like fruit, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm very much like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and I'm
one-
sure we've evolved now where what our preferences are with all of these fruities and these things that go along from where, I mean, think back 10, 15 years when it was skunky and gassy were the big, huge predominant ones that really spoke to having something that was kind buds of sorts, right?
I honestly, man, when I was younger, it was such a like quick, brief moment where it wasn't like I'm enjoying the fucking experience. It was like, all right, let's get fucking high and see what this is about. It's not like, this tastes like fucking skunker. I didn't ever feel like when I was younger, I appreciated the terps. So I feel
for sure.
left out from that experience from everybody else because I was always such a fucking brief moment for me.
I
I
don't
didn't.
think
Yeah.
Yeah, I
didn't.
don't think well, first of all, at 15 years old or so, how much are you really appreciating fucking anything?
Yeah, I mean,
But
And that's when
like
people
you
say,
were
keep
just smoking
saying,
to get high,
I'm
dude.
missing a skunk. When I smelled skunk, it was fucking acrid. It smells like you ran over a skunk. Yeah, well, anytime somebody's in my fucking house that doesn't smoke weed, they go, smells like somebody hit a fucking skunk in here.
yeah.
Really? Because it doesn't smell like that to me. It smells like fucking blueberries.
I've never
Mm.
grown something that has been smoked and smells like skunk, like the typical like nose up in the air. There's someone smoking something somewhere type thing. It's not.
But
It's never
you
been that.
smoke it regularly
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
So that's what I remember, driving down the road and smelling a burnt leaf and then smelling somebody smoking weed and then smelling fucking an actual skunk and going, which one was that? Like, so when people say the missing skunk terp and I'm struggling with that because I feel like I'm struggling to get my dad what he wants in fucking skunk because that memory it's not there anymore, man.
No.
Yeah, well, it's different.
As you find with human beings, our memory is fucking notoriously trash, right? There's a reason you can't. There's a reason you can't use first eyewitnesses. Like they're just fucking, or they fucking aren't remembering correctly to the facts because it's about how they perceive them and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Finding something that's super skunky as the years go by is only harder because the skunk in their mind, it gets skunkier and skunkier and they build it up and then they're like, nah, this isn't it. And you're like, I can't help you, my friend.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, right, something becomes a legend and a myth, and it's just that's what it is. There's no
Yeah.
approaching it. Think about all the stories. The first time you got laid, oh, how great it was, right? Nah, probably not,
No, it
dude.
wasn't.
Yeah,
No.
well, not
No, it
really, but
wasn't.
you know what, as a dude,
The
yeah.
last time I did was not
I
the
thought you
first.
stopped talking about prison.
I have
Well-
not yet, and he was great.
And I
Thanks,
think,
big green guy.
still putting money on his books.
well, and I think to your point, man, I think that's why I spend so much time in the autoflower realm, growing so quickly and growing so many different ones. 'Cause like you were saying, Johnny, is you can fill a tent with all these different, somewhat similar profiles, but have their own unique aromas to them and terpene profiles that are, slightly different, but they're, they still hit the spot. That's what I'm loving about autoflowers versus trying to find that one, especially in the time frame that it takes. Like that's a lot of dedication into one. And then I even when I was doing my very early research, that was one of the things that before I even started, as I was looking at photos versus autos, was like, okay, you're going to grow them it's going to take you a longer period of time. You're going to have a large amount. What if I don't like a strain? Because that's happened to me before, where I'd gone to the dispensary and I thought this was going to be the best thing. You couldn't wait. And then I got home and I was like, I don't even want to finish this. And I instantly had those initial thoughts like of, what if I grew out and got 4, 5, 6 ounces of this and I hate it and I don't want to smoke it,
That's why I don't want to go down to 2 photos. Like I
Yeah.
want to try like
Great
4
point.
at a time and
Take it all
find
back,
that
yeah.
one. Yeah. But my plan is
Varieties.
failing.
So variety, like I'm no I'm not shy about sharing my love for narrow leaf and stuff like that, but
Get out of here.
I do very much enjoy the time frame because growing a photo with you flower for so fucking, especially some of the hazes, you could be flowering for fucking ever. So you do get them in a quicker time frame. However, when you start running like 120 days, there are times where I'm like, I could have run into fucking photo now and been so much better off. So, but I like the variety, and I don't know how, I always, if I'm smoking the same strain constantly, I don't get sick of it. I just get really used to it. And so when you introduce a new strain, you're like, it's hitting your cells with more different terpenes, right?
I mean, I try and rotate throughout the day.
Yeah.
So that I get it. And,
I don't
find myself at the end of
I don't
the
plan
end
my
of a
shit
run.
well.
Like,
Dude, I don't eat my like when I'm on a plate of food. I eat one specific thing at a time and then I move on to the next. Like maybe I taste a little bit of everything, but then I
really?
eat one thing and then move on. I don't
You
do a
let them
My
spoonful of
wife
each.
does
So
that.
I don't
Why?
even smoke my weed that way. I literally, when I have 4 different plants, I sample them all, choose my favorite, and fucking smoke the shit out of that, and then suffer through the rest of the fucking jars till
Weird.
my next harvest.
Really?
That's
Yes.
weird. Oh, that's
Yeah,
I
I
do
always
it
try to
one
rotate
jar
it
at a
every day.
time. It's so weird.
That is. Do you let your food touch?
Well,
does it bother you if the food's touching?
Also, I just realized the true reason is because I'm too fucking lazy to trim more than one plant at a time.
Yes. See, it's not a weird mental
Even when
thing.
I didn't do anything.
I just
laziness.
realized the truth. I trim the one I want the most quickest because I'm that fucking greedy.
There you go.
And then the rest of them, it's just like, fuck, I
See,
gotta go trim one plant at a time. Plus, it's a
that's-
pain in the ass. I have to fucking drive all the way to my
I
dad's
agree.
house and fucking, the
Brother, I'm on
semantics
your
behind
side
my
always.
drive.
But it is funny that it is not. You were making it out like you were some straight OCD, like I must finish this. No, you're a lazy son of a bitch like the rest of us.
I just
No, my
realized
problem-
that's the God's honest truth.
My problem is
shit.
I always take whatever has the most, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
always constantly like, I don't want to take the last of it. So the entire time, if I get a smaller harvest, I'm like, damn, I'm almost running out. The entire time, it's incredibly frustrating.
I mean,
but I
when
find that better than just tackling one at a time.
when I do my lineup, I try and get one real broadleaf in there. And that's
You
gonna
like
be my
pre-roll all your joints for the day, like in the morning
No.
and shit, and like label
No.
them. I picture you fucking having them in like a pill package now at this point. I know you
will.
weigh them.
I pre-roll
So
my
I-
joints
he's
for
got-
the day, asshole.
It's a Ziploc bag. It says
Monday,
this is the
Tuesday,
half
Wednesday,
gram.
Thursday, Friday. He's got
These are the half gram
It's like the
joints.
fifth
These are the
element.
one
Nooner.
The fifth
joints.
element dispenser
This is
out
my
of.
nooner of Tangy
Yeah.
Tip Iguana to pick me up for the
Mhm.
rest of the afternoon.
No, I mean,
No,
I just
okay.
I keep my
Screw
jars in
you
front of me,
because
and it does depend.
pre-roll. I pre-roll because I work in a shop and I don't have time to fucking sit there and roll a
Fair.
joint whenever I want. I roll my large
right.
obscene amount for the day and then I just pull them out. But no, I'm not technical with it where Stoney measures it out for optimal fucking results. And he's like,
It's
if I
also
take this
still, it's
now,
also quite organized because what the fuck I do is I have a whole other setup in my shop. I have a whole fucking jar, grinder, everything right out there because it's nothing to just boop, boop, and then I'm done because it takes too much time in the morning. I'm figuring out where the fucking coffee maker is half the time.
oh no, I would absolutely trade the like 20 minutes I spend before I go to bed rolling joints for the next day because I'm exhausted every fucking night going, God
Oh,
damn,
you
why
do it
did
at
I
night?
save
Oh
Okay.
wow, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to because I wake up and I'm going, dude. I'm still at that stage where it's like work till I drop physically
Yeah.
drop. So that's the only reason. If I had my like ideal situation, dude, everything would be fresh ground. I'd be sitting there like, hold on, give me 20 minutes to roll this. I'll see you after that. But
I
Well,
mean,
then
I'm
from the
just-
YAG community, we would like to thank you for your time because we know how exhausted you must be. And thank you for joining us this evening, sir.
oh well, thank you for the red carpet. I just want to thank everybody. No, just fuck you.
Shit.
I don't know why I hate you. I like you guys. I know why I hate you.
So
But yes,
we've been
I wanted to
talking
ask-
about
sorry.
terps,
No.
and I have I have to ask because the cherry bangarang about to fucking drop. There's two phenos, correct?
I
Cherry
believe
and
there's
cherry diesel?
cherry
Mhm.
gas.
And you're saying you got cherry and cherry gas in your
Dude.
terps.
I will tell you. I'll start right. So I rolled 2 joints of each, right? And I saved them for different days. I didn't roll them that one day and then save them. That's but I kept the samples. I went with cherry gas first and the fucking dry hit. I got cherry and a little bit of gas. And I was like, that's fucking weird. Like I was worried that because he had suggested it so much that I was just going to be like, I'm going to fucking taste it now because I want to. But no, dude, it was cherry fucking gas. And I got it throughout the entire joint. Both times, obviously. And then the cherry was just as he described, man, straight cherry.
Stoney.
So I got it. I actually popped it into a jar. I cleaned out a jar, popped it in there so it was completely fresh and clean, and let it actually breathe, kind of open up for about 4, 5, 6 days. Didn't grind it or anything. I just went back and sniffed it about every day. I was getting a lot of the gas, but it was not the diesel fuely that I was anticipating. But it took me a couple days, and then it hit me. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with a Luxardo cherry, but it's this very specific kind of cherry, and it's a fermented slightly. It's the juice of the marasca that is added into cherry. So it's basically the maraschino cherry, but it's not the candy version of maraschino cherry that you see. It's like a dark red. It's usually done in cocktails. Old fashions use it quite a bit, but it has like it has a really unique like wild cherry note to it, and the gas that I got was more of like a fermentation, which is interesting because it almost like took me to a little bit of like marzipan. So like it has like this really subtle, like it would kind of was almost closer to a butane, but I was like, no, it's not too butane-y, but I didn't get the full like diesel aspect of it. Rev, you're spot on with that dry pull. So once I did grind it, it was all cherry. It's just like opening in a jar of Luxardos right away. That sort of wild cherry sweet hit to it. And then when I did the dry pulls on it, that definitely delivered on that dry cherry note. And it pretty much stayed consistent throughout the joint as well. So yeah, and it was not sure I could finish the joint. And I probably sat with it and relit it a few times. So I think that kind of spoke to the potency on it as well. But it was delicious, man. It was a delicious taste.
It was very good. Howling's sniffing it for the first time right now. He looks pleased.
I am. So I was trying to smell it as Stoney was given the description because I suck at assigning words to what I'm smelling.
Agreed.
So I was purposely sniffing it because I haven't smoked it yet. It's like the same way as I took it out of the packaging. I'm kind of letting it breathe in a jar. But yeah, I was listening to him as I was smelling it, and damn it, I'm so jealous that you could pick out those things. Like I'm trying, and
was I close, dude? Was I? Because I was pretty baked when I did it too. But
it smells fruity to me, absolutely. But I can't pick out. I suck at this. Like I could tell you on a scale, like if I like it or I don't. If it's pleasantly sweet and citrusy or it's not. Like I could tell you these absolute yes or no things, and there is definitely like. I don't know if I would call it cherry, but there is a fruit fermented type smell to it. And again, like what got me into smoking weed is strains that were high in some kind of terpene that was citrusy. And that's like what Dosey Does is. And like it smells like hops to me. Like that's what I smell. And this reminds me of something like that. So I really enjoy it. But I wish I could pick out marzipan and all sorts of other things. My nose sucks, but it is definitely a very pleasant smelling flower, and I can't wait to smoke it. But
let me give you a little inside baseball tip. All of my descriptors were indeed just cherry and gas because that is as far as mine can go.
There is no gas, but I also I just got the one that just says cherry on it. There is absolutely no gas to it. It is pure, like just a fruity smell.
What about you, Johnny?
I opened up the package and I thought immediately somebody fucking sprayed it with some sort of fucking perfume or something. I'm like, this is crazy. It was loud, first of all, and it was definitely fruity. I said, all right, and then put it in a fucking grinder. I didn't do all that fancy shit with the fucking jar.
Yeah,
and
I lit it right away.
It went in a fucking grinder. Got rolled into a king size, and me and the fucking family went for a ride to get Thai food and smoked both of them on the fucking way.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Was
that Thai food good?
Everyone appreciated it, and the Thai food was even fucking better because of it. Now, that being said, there was a fucking pack of the testers sitting on my shelf that he had sent me. So my dad fucking saw that and scooped them, and he's gonna fucking plant them. So I hope he fucking shows up. Because them fucking terps were great.
Well, I got fucking good news because I just planted 2 and solo cups that just popped too. But he sent us some to give away. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Fuck, we were supposed to keep those. No, I'm just kidding. No, he gave us some to give away to the fucking YAG community. So we're gonna do something in Discord. When this episode comes out, which is Sunday, if everything goes right. We can't make any promises, of course. We're going to set something up in Discord where you can just come click a button, and we're going to give away some pack. We'll do it spaced out. We're not going to blow our load all at once. That's right, baby. Keeping that mutt theme going. We'll do it in Discord.
You gotta
Everyone
run your chances. You gotta equal out your kids. If you just have a fucking bunch of 6-year-olds, what fucking good are you? You gotta fucking have like a 25-year-old, a fucking 22-year-old, a 19-year-old. You gotta spread your seed.
I think we should all follow Howling's principle: spread out generations.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
All
It's
the
so
generations.
terrible.
The Genghis Khan approach.
There's like 18 years between my two sons. Yes, it is terrible.
I like
And
to
there's-
call it the never retirement plan.
There is 21 years between my oldest and youngest. Yeah.
My youngest is 13 from me. She's 13 years younger. I'm the oldest, and it's wild because she's 22 now, and it's holy shit.
See, my parents were dumb, man. They put all their eggs in the same way as I did. My kids are too close together. You should space them out at least like 15 years so that like one of them's driving around. Should you be in a fucking car, you're most likely not all going to be in the car together when it crashes and dies. So now you just killed your fucking bloodline.
It's worked out well. I am happy that I don't have like two toddlers trying to fight each other, like the typical sibling rivalry and stuff. The ages are pretty good. My sons are great. They cope with the age difference rather well, and they get along pretty great. So
as a boy, I'd imagine it's a lot easier and cooler too. If it was the other way, then that poor girl would have a very hard time in life with two older brothers. My sister, my middle sister, has 3 boys. One is 5, one is 3 or 2, and the other is almost 1 now. It just turned 1. So she is so she has a fucking bunch of toddler boys in her house, and she came out to visit us, and I got to spend time with them. And I don't know how she does it. She's a saint, man. She's still nicer than anybody I've met. And I'm like, you have every reason to be a terrible person.
And she's related to you?
Somehow. She got the good genes, as we always say. No, she's had an easy life. I fucked off enough to where she literally could never get in trouble. But we were saying something about a giveaway. Sorry. It's going to be on Discord. We're going to give away a pack of his Cherry Bangarang. I know he has a drop on the 23rd coming up, but I know he's also working on doing his own big drop after that. So there'll be more to come on that in Discord.
Dope. Thanks for telling me. Do I have to be there?
No,
it'll be one of those clickers. It'll just automatically we'll set it up so we'll leave it for like the full day, because I think that works out really well if we have it get started in the morning time. That way everyone has a chance to get to it and make their click on it, and then it kind of like auto populates it not long after. So
can we talk about how that clicker thing is biased against me? I clicked on every one of our giveaways and I haven't won shit.
And we put blockers on those.
That would make sense. Yeah, no, that was that.
Wait, why do you win? Because I win.
Yeah, I just want to win one, just to say I did. Anybody got anything exciting to talk about, Johnny?
So my dad in his hunt for skunk terps is having a rather successful round with his, what the fuck is it? Some sort of dragon, something or other. Alien dragon.
Yeah, we talked about this. Didn't we name an episode? Or no, that was the apple dragon.
That was my apple dragon, yeah. No,
this was, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, I forget what it is, but
such great podcasters.
They're beautiful. And he's digging it, but then he's his 2x4 with the Hella Jelly is done, so he's getting anxious to plant something else. So he's planting those cherry bangarangs. So that's pretty fucking exciting. And the top dressing I gave that, I'm just not gonna do a fucking thing. I'm just gonna let him plant some seeds and go. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Howling, what photos were you choosing? I forgot to ask.
Fuck. So I'll just go through the 4. They're all from Romulan. It's
Right on.
Pure Crush, Communion, Texaco Slushy, and Grateful. I don't know what I'm going to do now if I narrow it down to, well, I definitely will do the Pure Crush, which is the one that I rage bought recently because the sites were crashing. And at that, I invested like 10 minutes trying to get it. And at that point I said, fuck it, I'm going to get it. In the end, it took me like a half hour. So I'm going to run that. And I don't know what the second plant will be. Oh, it's very heavily broadleaf. He says it's the description is basically.
Is that the one that he said it's the most left or the most broad leaning? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm definitely like, that's a huge fan favorite around these parts. And by fan favorite, I mean, it only matters I'm the fan. And so that's cool.
Yeah.
So that definitely
the benefit of being the farmer, baby.
Yeah. But all the other 3 are broad leaning as well. And so, yeah, I don't know which one. It might be Texaco Slushy or Communion. I think Grateful, I'll wait a little bit. So it'll be one of them.
Right on, dude.
Yeah.
I just couldn't choose a photo, man. Like, really? I'm such limited on fucking time that both my 2x4s are down right now, and I can't. I don't have the time to try and fucking pick a photo that I have to go through and sec. So it's like, what fem photo do I want to grow? And
so that's what's making this easy is they're fems. And so I think the next couple photo runs, just so I can just take it a little easy, they're all going to be fems. Like I've done the reg route and I know that's probably the more stable route to go, but I'm just going to do fem for a bit.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm at too. Like there's no fucking time, man. I just want to plant a seed and go. I don't want to sit there and have it too long in a solo cup and fucking baby it through this and have the humidity right in that tent and then transplant. It's like, fuck, I want to plant a seed and go.
Well, then if you're looking like for each, what I like to do is for each photo spot I have, I plant at least 3. So that way the odds are in my favor that I'll get at least 1 female, probably 2 to pick through. And so yeah, it sucks having to plant 3 plants for every spot that you want to grow a photo. And yeah, I'm done with regs for a little bit.
I've been doing that with autos, man. Like at least 2 in a pot and selecting them. I mean, I'm telling you, there's the amount, especially with autos. This was the perfect example. Today or yesterday, I took one down to just the single one, and every single one of them, one outgrew in one form or fashion, whether it was height, width, breadth, something like that. There was a difference between the 2, even if it was nominal. So I think that I can
appreciate like you all that have patience and kind of an intuition for which ones to keep, because like as I saw with Hubba Bubba, and then now I'm seeing with the 2 I'm running now, it's like they start life sometimes the first couple of weeks just being runty little things that you don't think are going to go anywhere, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we got our shit together, we'll grow up now. And I would never be able to pick.
That's a great point. I mean, it's a guesstimation. I mean, there's no way that I could sit there and say that I'm actually truly pheno hunting. I'm just looking at the 2 at that time and knowing that at some point I have to make this selection, and based on what I'm seeing, I make it that. But it's a really good point.
It's easy when you got 2 side by side and you see one with more turgor by fucking day 5 or 6. You're like, that's easy.
But it's like they're deceiving. The one with more turgor could later fizzle out, and the one that was runty could just decide to get their shit together. It just sucks.
I agree with you.
I think it comes to balancing, right? For every one that we pull or that you pull, you lose a chance of having like your hubba, my hubba, or like my Marley's, that one overly monstrous plant. However, you end up getting, I would say, probably a more average, decent yield, right? Because you're getting on average. You might not get the winner, more often not, but you'll get a B student almost every time, as opposed to 1 A+ every once in a while. So I think it might work out.
My smallest plant in my fucking 3x3 auto tent right now is my strawberry milk and cookies, and I pulled the wrong fucking plant. I meant to pull the one on the right, and I pulled the one on the left, and she's the smallest fucking least fucking anything in that plant in that tent.
How old is she now?
old enough that I should have fucking plucked all of them and started over again.
You know what? My strawberry milk and cookies was very similar, and I mean,
Rebounded
she-
like a mofo.
she was like,
Call her
I was
Charles
very ready. I remember a day where I was just ready to pull her. I was done, and then something, I forget what it was. I think you were talking to me about watering a little more, and then I was reading some other things. I'm like, you know what? I'll give her a couple days, and she pulled her shit around. I don't know what the fuck happened, and I was glad because she's a little sentimental to me. Because the first strawberry milk and cookies, my first appearance on this show, I yanked her during that show. She was like 28 days and 5 nodes and only 2 inches tall. Like, she was a very sad beast. So I'm very happy this thing is like decided to pull her shit together, because there's a little sentimental value to it. It's just kind of comes full circle.
Then in fairness, man, you could fairly also say that a lot of these things turned themselves around because of your craft work, because you know the efforts that you put into them. So while it may have been the genetics, there's definitely the variability.
So you saw it. That's right. Kill him with kindness.
All the work that they demand.
No, but it's true. I think there's also a lot to be said about sips, right? Like, once you start bottom watering and they start kind of getting pushed in the right direction, sometimes you see a tremendous rebound.
Speaking of sips, what's the wettest, Johnny, that you have got in your bed? Like, could you use the moisture meters?
What the fuck kind of question? I love
get the rubber sheets.
in my big one,
in the army.
I think that's what my problem was with my autoflowers, is that bed was super fucking moist, because I like watered it during that fucking, when I cut all that cover crop down, which was a huge fucking like load of cover crop, and then it got hot with the fucking black plastic, and then I watered it a little bit more, so I was sitting at like 65, 69 for a while.
That is pretty. So I was actually
I think that there was nothing at the bottom of the bed, so that tent was also the one that overflowed. And I think that because there was nothing left to grow and absorb the moisture in the very fucking bottom, that the plants looked fucking great to a certain point in like the perfect moisture level, and then they fucking...
Two things. So first, I thought I was going to surprise you, because this bed is easily reached 57% and is kind of holding there, which I find to be super wet. And so I was wondering where you've seen it. But second, did you just say you flooded your tent without using an autopot?
That's the I flooded it because it's got a hole in the bottom of it. Remember?
Oh,
yeah.
I was just calling out you teasing.
No, because I don't have trays. So when you overwater, which I do often, there's a fucking cricket.
What?
You
were complaining about snow, and you got fucking crickets.
It's got to be a cricket. It's either a cricket or one of them fucking stink bug things.
What's important is during this podcast.
No, so if I water to runoff, which you can tend to do with a garden hose, you can water till runoff, and then the fucking trays that come in your tent will normally fucking suck that back up.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen when there's fucking holes in the bottom of it when you burned a fucking hole in it from an electric fire. So there's glorious reasons why you should not have a garden hose if you're a fucking dumbass like me.
You are the reason why I started rearranging my tents to not have any of the electrical plugs inside of it.
I like to provide information vicariously through my stories of win.
My dearest friend, at some point in history, did anyone in your family piss off a hose maker or something? Were you cursed by the fucking hose?
By the gypsy horses, the gypsy hose makers?
We have a problem with rubber in general.
Your house was built on the graveyard of the man who invented the hose.
It's the rubber tree that we fucking...
There is, like, I've been using a shop vac at work a lot because my fucking Haas, I bought a Haas and it has a hole. Long story, it's not watertight. And so I have to, get under the machine and clean it up. But the other day I was thinking, man, it's so fucking amazing that I use this in an industrial setting. And Johnny thought, this will work near my plant.
It does. Most of the time.
I know. You like. We need to figure out a way to get you away from hoses. I think somehow your family has just cursed itself in hoses, and
Stay
if we
away
could
from
do
all
that,
Dude,
hosiery.
no hosiery,
could you picture
you'll
the
die by
fucking
strangulation.
dumbass fucking reel or whatever I could make if I started watering my fucking garden with a fucking can? The fucking can
Oh,
waters,
yeah,
like the
you do
metal
the
can
can.
with the spout. Like, see, I'm fucking real grower. I don't pH my water, and I use a fucking watering can because that's how it's done. Because I'm a fucking
Takes-
hillbilly,
Takes me 3.5 years to water my entire
and
garden.
I have to pump it out of my well.
Like God intended. No, but yes, let's get on to something constructive so that we don't leave lingering hose doubt. And I'm neutral
I'm
with
just
the
still
hose
thinking about
gods.
Johnny wearing
Fuck
hosiery
you,
over his
hoses.
head.
I win.
Hey, what's up, hoser? For my Canadian friends, which is one Jeff. Yeah, we're getting towards the end, so we have my ludicrous homework that I've done for myself every circle, where I ask one random question of you all. I'm going to try and think of a subject that is not hose related. I've created a deep backstory for this already, but what is one hobby that you've tried and found you either didn't like or it wasn't quite for you? I will start. Johnny, my dear
Jesus
friend.
Christ, dude, you picked the guy with ADD. I got a fucking million hobbies. Which one didn't work? They never do.
I know, but this is your opportunity to pick one. And also, I pick you because if I pick you first, there's a good chance you'll remember the question.
Okay, truth be told, I like to draw, but I suck at it, so I don't do it
That's
often.
dope. Well, but that's not the question. You're just naming a hobby that you enjoy doing. I asked what's a hobby you tried, and you were like, "Oh, it's not for me."
That's it. Exactly. Drawing and painting and like traditional art, I would say that's just not for me. As much as I like it, I just find it not I don't like the results, so I don't like to do it.
Okay.
So it didn't work out.
I don't technically think that answers the goddamn question, but I'll allow it because whatever. Stoney.
Yeah, so I didn't have a lot of hobbies growing up because cooking was probably the one that encompassed most of it. But I do so I had to really sit and think because I do get enthralled in the hobbies. I may let them go, but the only one that came to mind, and it was when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure my pops had gotten me real excited for it for generational reasons, but stamp collecting.
Oh.
And my dad was probably really into it, and I think I tried to want to be into it, and it was kind of cool. I mean, it was kind of neat. It was kind of fascinating a little bit to learn about it. And then we went on like a tour of the post office, and I was like, this is a hobby. Like the guy that was giving the tour was real excited about stamps. And I just remembered like thinking about like this guy really does really enjoy the stamp collecting. Like this is not for me. I don't think I can still. I just don't want to collect stamps. I'm good. I am good.
Every hobby I get into, when you have to involve other people and associate with other people, they fucking are way more into it than I ever am.
Yeah.
It's always like, even fucking cannabis, man. I start talking to people, and I'm just like, yeah, man. Yup. What?
Well,
Who?
that's
because you always end up they know more, and they're super thrilled, and they fucking have been doing it for years. And then I just am like, I know nothing, Jon Snow.
And in all fairness, there's plenty of people that would say that about our silly hobby of growing cannabis. Be like, why the fuck would you do that, dude?
Oh, absolutely.
Your basement smells like what? You buy bottles of what?
Why do
you keep bags of worm what around?
Oh no,
what are you fucking crazy? I probably said the same thing about stamps and licking the backs of paper. And
that's the good thing about hobbies, man. You try them, and if they're not for you, you can move on. Yeah. Howling, what was yours?
Paracord bracelets. Well, so my wife gets into making crystal bracelets and stuff, and so she had this paracord kit, and I was like, I'll try my hand at it. It's kind of, I think conceptually, it's pretty cool, the different knots and weaves and stuff that you do, and I liked watching the videos of someone else doing it. But I made 2 bracelets, and I said, "Fuck this!" Like, it made my hands cramp. I'm done. I don't care about knots. Whatever. Like, I just lost interest super quick.
My dad's got 2 on his wrist that I made him in 2011. They've been off his wrist one time, and it's when he had a fucking quintuple bypass.
Jesus,
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those things
you still
are fucking.
Make them?
No, I've just made a few because like we were fucking deer hunting a lot back then, like really heavily. So we were in the woods a lot, and they're fucking like they are useful for rope. Should you find yourself in a fucking shit situation, they are right there on your fucking wrist to have some fucking length of rope to at least get some sort of put your fucking tarp over your something or other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Everybody always needs rope.
Dope.
What about you, Rev?
I like most people have started plenty of hobbies and failed miserably or just not enjoyed them. But I think the one that came to my mind first was paintballing. I had some buddies that got really into paintballing, and so I went with a few times, didn't enjoy it, and then I worked at a place, and we all got into paintballing. And while a lot of fun, like we all spent money, bought nice gun, like got all kitted out, everything, fucking automatic like reload, all that kind of bullshit. But the thing, like, it was fun every once in a while, but the one thing that really I couldn't do was everywhere to play around here is in the desert. And so it gets really fucking hot. And so it's like 110 degrees and you're sweating and all that gear. And I'm just like, this isn't my fucking scene, man. And like, we'd go play at like Camp Pendleton and stuff and it would be fun, but fucking 98 degrees. I don't really want to be running around.
And the bruises, man.
Yeah. And so I did it a couple times, bought all this stuff. I still have all this shit. And I never did the speedball shit. That stuff is like, those people are a whole different level, dude.
It only took one match where I got hit in the balls and one went under my mask and up near my eye. And that was enough that I said, you can take your paintball and shove it. I'm done. This is not fun.
Yeah, it's interesting, and that's a whole other world. That some people, like I have a buddy he's did the competitive speedball for a while, and I'd watch him do a few things, and they fucking critique down to every like second you slide, every like it's too much analytics and shit, man, at a certain point. And he's a very nerdy guy. It's just like, is this paintball or are you doing some kind of weird math simulation? Dude? Like,
3 letters, VPD. We're just as fucking nerdy.
You're exactly right. That's why I specified that we're not into not hobby shaming anyone.
Yeah.
I'm picturing competitive speedball as being what's going on outside of your shop. I'm sorry.
That's so good.
There's just 3 of them running down the street with 2 pairs of shoes.
I have
between the 3 of them.
I have a story to tell you today, my friends. As I was leaving work today, there was a man working on his van that has been parked there for a month or so, and the engine was up. There was an oil pan underneath his engine. He was draining the oil just parked on a public street, just right on. But he was only in his fucking boxers, doing all of this in his short boxers, my friend.
Gotta stay clean, man.
I was committed. I was like, at first I thought maybe he only has one change of clothes. Maybe that works. But then I noticed that his pants were just around his ankles. So he could have easily picked him up, but no, it was the things that you see in Santa Ana, California, my friends.
Jesus,
but yeah, I guess that's an interesting thing to end it on. Does anyone have anything before I get to go to plugs that they want to touch on? Excellent.
Nope.
Good. Howling looks like he has something to say. I'll leave the time. No, I'm just kidding. He's not even paying attention.
What goes to you, Howler?
Stoning, do you have anything to plug?
No, I mean, I'm just starting to get geared up for the season. So plug yourselves into this one and be ready for the night owl growth together. We've got some more prizes that we're going to be giving out throughout the next week or two. Love the pictures coming into it. It's extremely busy in there. I love going in there, even though I'm not as active in there as I'd like to be. I still love going in there and see what's going on. So yeah, keep your eyes out for more prizes in the next week or so with that. We've got some big ones we need to be giving out soon. And yeah, it's going to be 420 before we know it. We'll all be harvesting. So yeah, keep after it. Keep the parliament growing.
At this rate, I think I'll be on day 15 by the end of March. No, I'm just kidding. Johnny, do you have anything to plug?
Shout out Howling and YAG.
I love it. Howling, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, you know what? I'll plug those that I've been learning from. Badger and Flammulated Owl and Mama Wanacue. Like on my mushroom journey here of learning how to grow, they've been just awesome teachers and teaching me a hell of a lot. And it's been a great process so far. So I just love learning from those that are in our community. And so, yeah, thank you all.
I'm so jealous of you guys on that journey, by the way. Like, I can't wait to grow some lion's mane.
That's going to be my next one. I'm super happy to try to grow that one.
Flammulated Owl suggested having we're going to have a dope mushroom episode in the future. And he's due for a circle episode anyway. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, excellent, dude.
What do you have to plug, Rev?
I ain't got shit, homeboy. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, friends. Later.
Thanks for digging what we do.